9 o'clock. Notice hereby given this regular meeting of the Commissioners Court of Titus County here on February the 10th at 9 a.m. here at the Titus County Courthouse. Everybody will stand for the invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I just come to you, thank you, Lord, for all you do for us. I just ask you right now, Lord, just to be with us as we do our county business. Just give us wisdom in everything that we do. Lord, I just ask you just to watch over our first responders and our fighting men and women. Just ask you to take care of them and bless them. Lord, just be with our government. Just help them to do right and everything that they do. Lord, I just ask you now just to go with us. Give it where you be. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 1, public comments and request of information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042, the Texas Open Meetings Act. This morning we have Ms. Holly Parker from Cookeville. She wants to speak. Make sure it's on, Holly. I don't know if it's. And Jerry, you do have us. Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Perfect.
Thank you. Again, Holly Parker, Cookeville. I've gone to the City Council many times to speak on the stray and abandoned animal issue in Titus County, and now I'm here before this body. I understand this body cannot pass ordinances to help us address this crisis, but what I'm asking for is hopefully leadership on this issue. We are being overwhelmed in the county with abandoned and dumped animals, and not last week, but the week before. I took in 7 strays that were dumped in 5 days. They're now at my house. There's one more I'm still trying to catch. I fostered more than 40 last year who were dumped in my area. So what we need is, yes, I would like ordinances passed. I know that some of you probably don't with microchipping, registration, spayer, and permit for intact animals. But again, what I want you to do is care about this issue, and right now I feel like there hasn't been some leadership by this body on going to those in your community and seeing what they need. Go to the rescues, Let Love Live, Netro, Kitty Cove. Some of them are in your districts. But outside of that, there's also other programs that we could do. There is a jail program that I approached Judge Cooper about, where we could partner with a jail and have those that are the least likely to get adopted, usually because they're black animals. They're the least likely to get adopted, or those that are timid. And they can go into the jail program and have inmates take care of them and get certification in grooming, training, and vet tech, right? So it allows them to get certification as well as caring for these animals. And you can get grant monies for the certification programs. And if the city does not want to move forward with the ordinances that would help us, because I know there's a back and forth between people wanting to blame each other, I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about the animals and what it's doing in the community. Because the euthanasia rate went from 37% in 2022 to more than 54% last year. More than 1,000 animals were euthanized at no fault of their own. But if they don't want to help us and they don't necessarily value county voices, then we can look at that reciprocity agreement that we have with them. And I'm not saying I want to do that, but that's a big gun. And we can ask them for a couple $1 million to help with our jail that they don't currently pay for. And we can put some of that money for an animal program, right? Either building our own animal control, or you can have a public-private partnership where you take grant monies of that $2 million and have the charities operate an animal control for you and then be the service. So that way it would not be anybody, no personnel that you're paying for, just maybe a $200,000 block grant to the charities around animal control in the county. So there's a couple ideas I'm willing to talk to anybody about. I'm willing to work with anybody about, but we really need your leadership to let people know that animal cruelty will not be tolerated, dumping will not be tolerated, and that people in this community need to take personal responsibility for the animals and the lives in which they're entrusted with. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Normally we don't speak on the opening comments, but I feel like there's some information needs to be out there. I have met with Holly. the commissioners do know that there is some problems out there. But with knowledge is power, as Monica in our office says all the time. So I want to give a little bit of knowledge out there to our city council that spoke the other night and said that the county didn't help. Well, there is the Health and Safety Code, which is Chapter 822, and it requires us as a commissioner's court. That's nothing that we can do as far as registering dogs and cats in the county. That is a state law. So therefore, you'd have to put that on an election and go before the voters of Titus County, not just the city, but all of Titus County voters, and get that done. And if that does pass, they keep talking about these high fees and restoration of $25 to $50. If you look in the Chapter 822 of the Health and Safety Code, the maximum that you can go, it can be a minimum of $1 and up to a maximum of $5 is all that you could charge, even if you did want to do that. And with that being said, that money doesn't necessarily go for helping of the animals and things of that nature. It goes to if somebody in the county or something, a dog attacks one of their livestock, goat, sheep, mostly cattle in this area, but that funds, whatever those restoration fees would go to a separate fund that would be set up there, and that would move over to those funds. The other night when you spoke at the city council, a couple of the council members acted as the county didn't do anything to help the city, and keep talking about going on with Longview. Commissioner Fitch, when he was a commissioner, they voted for the city and the county to trade out the animal shelter with prisoners, as Holly had mentioned earlier, which I don't really know that that's a fair trade, but that is what we're working with the county, and for them to say that we don't work with them, and then they want to refer to the Longview. Keep talking about Longview's ordinances and things of those nature. The other gentleman spoke on what Longview does and so on and so forth. There in Longview, it is a little different. The city of Longview pays Gregg County Sheriff's Department $750,000 a year for their prisoners there in the county. Also, Gregg County only has one officer that patrols for animals in the county, but with $750,000 coming back to them, they can afford to have somebody out in the county. So that's one of the other things that I did want to mention. Also, when they mentioned that the county doesn't help the city, where the animal shelter sits today was donated by the Commissioner's Court, that piece of property for them to build their property, to build the animal shelter on. So the county is here to work with them. We are working with them. Like I said, taking their prisoners, which is very big. You said the euthanasia rate is I think they said 1,000, maybe 1,100, Holly, last year in Titus, the city of Mount Pleasant. And so there's a fight over whose dogs are whose and things of those nature. But with that being said, I'm a dog lover, very much so. My dog probably gets treated better than some people around here. She goes to Dr. Seeing in them's place once, twice a month, and so she's very well kept, and she isn't not intact. So I understand what you're saying. I don't know that is all the answers that the county can help, but without it being put on a ballot and the voters voting that in, our hands are kind of tied on that, and that is a state issue. Also, with that being said, the cruelty of animals. I have said here as not just the judge, as the Commissioner's Court here, but also on cases. And Mr. Coburn here today, our county attorney, is his wife may be the biggest dog lover I do know, and I think they've got 6 or 7 that they rescue at all times, and he don't like her to come to town because she finds puppies, she brings it home. But with that being said, I've got a couple that are on probation for abuse of an animal, when we'll not tolerate that in Titus County. That as far as feeding, abuse of those animals, we've got a county attorney that's going to stand for us on that, and will come before our court, and we don't take that lightly. And I want the people to know that as well. And John Mark has been great. Like I said, we've got some on probation for misabuse of animals as far as feeding and things of those nature. But we do have to have witnesses. Paul stood up at the last meeting that I attended and told y'all if they needed some investigation done, he'd be willing to work with them. And like I just want to say with Mr. Copeland, he's not going to stand for it. And the dumping of the puppies, there's other ways. You got to find that. You got to have witnesses. You can't just say this and then bring them to court. And so we're here to help. We're not here we can't solve the problem, but we are here and we do help the city. And I want to be clear on that with a couple of councilmen saying that we don't do a whole lot for the city, and that's not true. So I just want to clear that up. Not really responding to what you said, Ollie, but we appreciate you being here, and we are here to help. So thank you. Okay. Number 2, consider and possibly approve the minutes from the January 27th, 2025 special meeting of the Commissioners Court. Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve those.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That carries unanimously. Number 3, consider and discuss providing 30-day notice of cancellation of contract between Titus County and Lone Star Strategy Group, L.L.C., with possible action. We received a couple of deals from the federal government letting us know that there have been a restraining order on all of those, and they're carrying it to court now on all federal grants. The ADCOC that does supply a lot of our grants that we couldn't apply for before, now that we're all back on board with our mitigation plan is all in place, we can do that. This doesn't mean that we can't apply for any grants anymore, but when they have to do it through in-house, I felt like that we need to cut this service off until it does open back up. A vet in Lone Star Strategies was helping us with an emergency coordinating building, and that would have been a federal grant. And with all those being cut off at this time, I just feel a strong need for us to let this service go. If we need it back in the future, we can certainly come back to court and reinstate either with them or with someone else to write our grants. But I feel we need to cut that money that we spend each month off on that so that there's no grants there. There's no need in us paying that money. So any questions, I'll be glad to answer any of them.
I'll make a motion to cancel the contract with Lone Star Strategy Group.
We got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell, second by Commissioner Parker, to send a 30-day notice of the cancellation of contract between Titus County and Lone Star Strategy Group. Any other further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That'll carry unanimously. Number 4, consider and possibly approve a letter from the county judge to Luminant acknowledging the tracts described in the deed are accepted in lieu of acreages identified in the Titus County resolution approved in Commissioners Court on October the 23rd, 2023. Luminant sent me their version of it, and the resolution that we passed only had us having 66.5 acres. There's a place on 1734, one on Farm to Market Road 127, one on County Road 2650 and Southwest 2449, Farm to Market 140 and County Road 1400. 1402. There's a misprint. Okay. So what it did was it on the 1734, just slight bits of acreages. The one on Farm to Market 127, all of them are increased except for the one on County Road 2650, and it was decreased by just 0.26 acres. And then 1402 lost 2 acres, and then County Road 1400 gained a little over 5 acres. So I'm assuming that's in your precinct, Jeff. So Jeff will get 5. Overall, the county gets 69.215 acres, and in our resolution that we agreed to, it was 66.5. So this is just after the survey and all from Luminant. They asked me to write them a letter. And this is what I wrote, or Monica wrote to them, and we'll be signing today. To whom it may concern, Please consider the letter as acknowledgement of the difference in the acreage conveyed in Exhibit A of the special warranty deed and the acreage listed in the Section 4 of the Resolution 2023-08 approved in Commissioners Court on October the 23rd, 2023. The tracts describe the deed are accepted by Titus County in lieu of acreages listed in the resolution. Thank you for your attention. So I'll make a motion that we do give this letter to them.
A second.
Got a second by Commissioner Mitchell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That'll carry unanimously. Number 5, consider and possibly approve the changes in the Titus County Employee Handbook. Acknowledgement letter with Ms. Dana Wallace. Ms. Dana.
There were 2 items in the employee enrollment sheet that comes back to our office. One is stating about call time and the other is about CDL. Both of those are addressed in the policy itself, but it does not apply to every employee, so we need to remove those 2 items when they're saying they're getting the handbook so that it complies with each employee. And that's all I'm asking is we're going to remove those 2 items, but those 2 items are addressed in the book itself.
I make a motion to approve.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell to approve the approval and changes in the Titus County Employee Handbook.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That'll carry unanimously. Number 6, consider and possibly approve the interlocal agreement between Titus County and the City of Mount Pleasant regarding providing a SCBA fuel station. Brother Ward, if you don't mind, I know you don't like to speak, but if you'll come up and kind of give a little information on this tank. We bought this when we were thinking that we were going to have to put it in a fire department. It's a $50,000 machine and fills up our air tanks, but with the fireman's knowledge, I'd rather you speak on that than me.
Morning. We have right now in our possession that we have a fill station. It's a compressor, and we have bottles that we get oxygen in, and then we have a station that you can open up, put your cylinders in. And this is used for filling our SCBA air packs for firefighters. We've discussed this around for the last several months on a good location that this needs to be placed. This was purchased when the city and county was going to split ways, and so there was an agreement signed between the city and county, so we've had this thing in storage for several months now. The judge and some of y'all talked about it, doing a local agreement with the city for a $1 a year lease on this. The best place really to put this would be at Station 2. They used to have one there. It got old. It would not work with the cylinders that we're running now on the 4,500 PSI, so they took it out of service. So the only one they have now is at Station 1. When we go to structure fires in the county, the city comes out with their trailer. They fill our bottles on scene. Tri-Lakes has 3 6,000-pound bottles on our fire engine. When they get empty, we just take it to Station 1 and they fill them up there. So that unit at Station 1, it's getting some years on it. So we think the best place for it to go would be at Station 2. If y'all do this, then it goes over there. There'll be an agreement signed on it. We have to call Casco. They'll have to come out. An agent will hook everything up, make sure everything's working. And then according to the agreement, the city will have to do all maintenance and maintain it and everything else. Also in the agreement too, we put in there a week or 2 ago that if a VFD need to fill their cylinders and they are trained to do it, they're welcome to come and use it to fill them. If they are not trained to do it, then Mount Pleasant would assist on being sure these cylinders get full.
I spoke with Mr. Eubanks at the fire department over there, and also spoke with Danny Beard as well, and both of them are in agreement that this is a well-needed piece of equipment. As Jody had spoke earlier, we got into some, I don't know, fights, I guess you might call it, over equipment. So with it being a lease, we know who owns the equipment, and there's not, something goes wrong, and we need it, then that's our equipment, and it's a 60-day agreement in there. If they don't want it no more, they tell us, and we'll come get it, or if we need it, then we'll go that way. But working again with the city, I think it's a big positive move for us to move forward and work along beside them. As we said long ago, we're a lot better together, and I think this shows our willingness to help the fire departments, both the local, the city fire department and our county volunteers. And I think it states that we're here to work with the city. And if we do sign this interlocal with them, we'll carry it before the city council and get their approval, and then get it moved in for them to go.
But when the county purchased this, it was $50,000.
Right. And
So-
Jerry, when you say Unit 2, building Fire Station 2, you're talking about the one across from the hospital there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes. Theirs is no good no more. It's done.
They do not have one right at this time.
Correct.
So right now, we just have one, and they're helping fill volunteer fire departments, not just ours, but areas around. And I think it's important that we have two of them in use. Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to approve this interlocal agreement with the city.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. It's got like an auction, got both y'all on the hammer at the same time. I can either open it back up or let one go. So, number 7, consider and possibly accept the Titus County Treasurer's Collector Continuing Education Certificate as completion as a matter of record. Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite, second by Commissioner Parker. All those in favor? All those opposed? That carries unanimously. Number 8, consider and possibly accept the Titus County Treasurer's Continuing Education Certificate completion as a matter of record as well.
Make a motion.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Parchman,
Second.
second by Commissioner Mitchell to approve the Titus County Treasurer's Continuing Education. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 9, approve oral and written reports of county officials.
Make a motion, we approve them.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Parchman to approve the oral and written reports of Titus County officials.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Applewhite. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That carries unanimously as well. Number 10, consider and possibly accept the treasurer's report as a matter of record. Got a motion made by Commissioner Parker to approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? That'll carry unanimously. Number 11, approve the budget amendments. Ms. Nanette, I don't know that microphone. There you go.
We have one budget amendment. It is 2025-06. Our commitment fees for our mental health cases has been increasing, and in the first quarter, it had already met our budget requirement. So we're doing an increase of $10,000. We're going to be moving that from contingency to the commitment fees line.
Gentlemen, when she's talking about that there, that's going to be our OPCs and stuff. The budget is a little bit low for what we had been having in the years past, and the reason on that is because Kaufman County has opened back up Terrell, so we're starting to have those there. When they have a hearing over there, of course, they charge us back here, so that's why those fees are a little higher than normal.
I make a motion to approve the budget amendments.
Got a motion made by Commissioner Mitchell to approve the budget amendments.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Parchman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 12, sign and pay orders and approve the payments. Got a motion made by Commissioner Parker to approve the signing of the orders of payments. Second by Commissioner Applewhite. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carries unanimously. Number 12, closing comments. Jeff?
I have none today.
Before we adjourn, the commissioners and I will be attending College Station next week for our regular commissioners and judge meeting down there. So we won't be having a quorum down there, but we will be going to school and trying to learn some more for the county and trying to better Titus County. Jerry, I guess you need to be ready the next few days. Talking to our emergency coordinator, we're going to get quite a bit of rain. Please don't drive into high waters. We've got some people that don't know on 1402 that they might get over out there that are not locals, but 1905 that drove into some water out there. So don't drive into high waters and be safe in the weather and the storm. It's supposed to get cold again, so be careful with that. So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Got a motion made by Commissioner Applewhite to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mitchell. We'll adjourn at 9:25. Thank you all for coming today.